Halls of 4 seasons lost. In Austin, I stalled and paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice. Then it's his to this heaven slice of an angel. Wrapped in skin, roll dice and woes of life. Love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal shit and lids, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear, clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and rating and rain, rekindle the flame. Close as she draws near, stay there. Remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, in paradise. We know I've heard this. In paradise, we know I've heard this. We know I've heard paradise. We know I've heard paradise. In paradise, we know where the dreams. In paradise, truth is what you conceive.
Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. And guess what it is? It is Thunder Thursday. And we're going to be talking about the Thunder. Remember, they kick off the 2022-23 season Monday night. And so it's going to be exciting. We're going to be in Denver. So it's just kind of crazy that we play in Denver. Well, I'll pull up the schedule here in a minute. But it's weird that all of our, 5 of our first 6 games are on the road. They're not even at Paycom. I don't know if it's because Paycom's got something going on or they're not ready or whatever, but it's interesting that 5 of our first 6 games, even though I'm counting preseason, of course, as well, are on the road. And so we'll go over the schedule. We'll talk about that. But this is our 105th show, so let's say it's fitting that we'll be talking about the Thunder tonight because we started this whole MC Sports Network with After the Storm, OKC Thunder, which is our Thunder post-game analysis show that we talk about the Thunder in reality, what actually happened during a game and what was going on with that. So anyway, it's going to be good that we're going to have a good show today. I'm excited. I know my guy, Drew Henthorne of Husker Drew Picks.com will be joining me talking about his picks. And remember, it's Thursday Night Football for NFL and college, and Drew's picks are covering all of that. So pretty excited about the show today, and let's get going. But by the way, I want to thank everybody for supporting me. This, like I said, is our 105th show for the Unpopular Hour, and I'm super excited. I want to thank you guys for watching us on Facebook, following us on YouTube and Twitch. And remember, just go ahead and search the Unpopular Hour, Matt Clark, subscribe, hit notification button to help support us further. And like I said, October is going to be a good month. I'm excited about what we're going to be seeing and what we're going to be doing. We have some upcoming things that we're going to change up this winter. So I'm excited about everything that's going on with the MC Sports Network. And by the way, remember, you can go to the MC Sports Network. If I can find it over here, I don't know. I need to figure this thing out. You can go to the MC Sports Network. That's www.mcsportsnetwork.com, and then you can click that on, and then it will go to the Unpopular Hour After the Storm and Women Only Wednesday, and you can watch all the previous episodes, as well as being able to go to YouTube. Like I said, search the Unpopular Hour Matt Clark, and then it will pop up when you hit subscribe, and then the notification. So, by the way, please go do all that, and I appreciate, once again, everybody's support, everybody's feedback, and like I said, we're going to be probably moving up an hour to 1 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock because we're going to be interviewing coaches and stuff like that we're going to have remote, and then we're going to be going out and doing remote broadcasts. We're trying to figure out the Thunder thing. I'm still working that out. I think that doing home games, I'm going to probably do the show at home. Doing away games, I think I will probably be doing them whatever location that I'm watching the game at. We'll just set up, watch the game, and then just do the show afterwards. And then we're going to be looking forward to people coming in and just comment in the background or whatever. And if you guys want to join in and be guests, then you're going to be more than able to do that. So we're going to have more of an interacting type show for after the storm. I think that's going to be a lot better because people need to be able to speak your opinion. Now don't come on and act like an idiot, because if you act like an idiot, I'm going to call you out and kick you off the show. But if you come in and you have some intelligent thoughts and some intelligent things, then yes, I'm more than willing to holler at you and talk to you about that. So that being said, let's start out with a little NBA news and what's going on in the NBA right now, which I am excited about. You can see where Ben Simmons is playing again, which I'm totally excited about that. I'm pumped up about Ben playing. I've been wanting him to come back, and I'm glad that he finally is, because I think that he is a heck of a player, and I think that he's going to help them. And a lot of people don't like him, which is stupid. I think that's dumb. But that being said, I do like what I see from Ben, and I am excited about what he's doing as far as being able to come back, because as his coach was talking about, hey, Ben's a player, and if he can come back and get his mind right, and the hardest thing is going to be able for him to get over the free throw thing. If he can get over the free throw anxiety, he will. That's going to help him out immensely, because, I could testify. I had the same thing happen to me. It was just ridiculously hard to get over it, but it can be done. Uh, I know that I had my issue the 1 year, really. That's all I had. Uh, it was more mental for me that 1 year. I'll get you my face, and then I'll pull that back up here in a minute. Um, it's like mentally you're scared. And I'm not a fearful person on the basketball court. Nobody ever made me afraid or anything like that. But it gets in your head. You miss a free throw. I tried everything, and I've talked about this before. I shot better from the field my senior year than I did from the free throw line. Better from the field than I did from the free throw line. Literally, I shot jump shots. I stood to the left side of the middle. I stood to the right side of the middle of the goal. I stepped back. I stepped forward. I leaned forward. I leaned back. I closed I did just about every trick in the book, except I did not do the Rick Barry. I did not throw the ball underhand. I refused to do that, but I was fearful of being fouled at the end of games. It was just horrible. So I could go through. I understood exactly what Ben Simmons was going through. But at the same time, the very next year, as soon as that season was over with, boom, I went back to making free throws. No big deal. Didn't bother me at all. Didn't care if I got fouled. Was looking forward to and ones, getting fouled the old-fashioned way, and going up there and making free throws. So, like I tell people, when I finished, I was the number one all-time lead scorer in the history, or excuse me, second all-time scorer in the history of OSU with no three-point line. And I wasn't a center. So, and I did play center 1 year, though. But I'm just saying, so, it can be done. That means you had to make a lot of free throws. You had to have a lot of and ones. You had to make a lot of free throws in order to do that. So, that being said, I want to say that I'm glad that Ben Simmons is back. I do understand his trials and tribulations and his mental breakdown when it comes to that, because I can just tell you, it is not easy. Once you start missing and the crowd gets in your head, and it's just, man, it's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. You can ask Steve Stepanovich when he accidentally shot himself. Go to Kansas, they got pop guns. They got 18,000 pop guns. Every time he got the free throw line, they were doing these pop guns, shooting. I think he made 1 out of 12 free throws or something stupid like that. And of course, KU beat Missouri. But, it's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but it's funny now when you look back. But in other NBA news, NBA players are buying professional pickleball teams. Because why? You can get into it now where it's cheap. It's not that expensive, really. And I believe on the one NBA team, you look at the players that are on the NBA team and who's there. And right now, let me see, who all do they have? It's Maverick Carter. He's the one that kind of got this going and convincing LeBron to invite these guys to come out and play. Uh, but it's Draymond is a part of the team. LeBron's a part of the team. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this group and how teams are going to are more and more, I think, NBA players because the chances of them uh, getting an NBA franchise are pretty slim. I don't see really any owners. They're going to be pretty careful in making statements about colors and about different things like that. So, or making statements about stuff like that. So I'm interested to see, but I am happy that these guys are getting in. And let me see who else on that team. They have. Let me see. There's LeBron. Of course, Maverick Carter's on there. Draymond Green, Kevin Love, and it is the fastest growing sport. Uh, one of the fastest growing sports in America. I think soccer is doing the same type of thing, that it's growing really, really fast, but it is expanding from 12 to 16 teams next year. They're going to be competing in 6 tournaments, expanding, with $2 million in prize money. The final tournament this year is the week of my birthday, October 14th through the 16th, so it'll be that weekend. That's that Friday and Saturday in Columbus, Ohio, with $319,000 purse, which is the most expensive purse in the history of which is the most expensive from history in history. So I'm excited about that, and anyway, so I'm excited about seeing that happen. I'm sorry, my guy, one of my friends, Micah Henson, is wanting to come join us today. We had talked about uh, him joining us, talking about the Thunder and what's happening with them. But that being said, I'm excited about LeBron and Maverick Carter and all the things that LeBron is doing with the NBA, helping teams grow. So I'm excited about what he's got going on right now in the league. So I'm excited about that, and hopefully he will continue to go out and do more things and invite more players to do more things. And I'm glad these NBA players are using their money to expand and to get into other areas of business because, I mean, guys, you're making all these millions and millions of dollars. And let's face it, by the time you're 32, 33, 34 years old, you're retired from the game and you're young. So what are you going to do? And let's face it, you can't keep living off the 20, 15, $20 million a year lifestyle that you had before because that's why a lot of those guys go broke. They look at the deal and I've got $150 million in the bank, but I've got a $25 million a year lifestyle without a $25 million a year income. So that's how these guys end up going broke and making bad investments and not cashing their own checks and stuff like that. So now, LeBron is drawing a trend that really Dr. J is the first one that really started that trend with athletes saying, "Hey," because Michael Jordan talked to Dr. J and asked him, how did he, make his money? And the first thing he said, "You sign your own checks," and then it came and went from there. So I'm excited to see what these guys are now doing with their money, investing in weed business. They're investing in franchises, all kinds of things, other than just doing NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, soccer, hockey, whatever you have. A lot of these guys are starting to do what their white counterparts have always done, and that's invest their money wisely into different businesses and not go out and spend $30 million on some, or be the only investor in a, apartment complex or whatever, or some huge development or whatever. You're the only guy and you put in your money and it goes busted. These guys have gotten paid, but they're out. And all you are is out of cash and not being able to recoup some of your money back. So that being said, I'm excited about what these guys are doing. And I still have not played pickleball. And they've been after me forever over at Santa Fe Family Life Center. We have a really big pickleball group over there that plays. There's another group, of course, that plays Racket Club. You've got them at the Greens, and so you've got guys all over the place playing pickleball. So it's just kind of a good thing, and I'm excited about that. And it sounds like I got my guy Micah Henson on the line. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Hey, man, just chilling. Glad to finally have you on. You've been running your mouth about this for damn near a year, and you finally came on. Finally got the nerve. Is that because
um,
you're a new father now? So all of a sudden he's like, oh, I can venture out.
yeah.
How
Well, I'm
about?
glad to be on.
Hey, by
Thanks
the
for
way,
having me.
how's the wife doing? She doing good?
She's doing good. We're getting to the last couple of days before the baby's here, so
Wait a minute,
she's
days?
well, a month,
Oh,
November
okay.
4th, but
Oh, sweet, sweet. I know she's
it's
excited
coming
about.
up quick.
She's excited to get it out. So have we got the name and all that set up?
Oh yeah, Elliot Joe.
Elliot Joe Henson, huh? Are
Oh yeah.
the grandparents excited? I'm sure your mom and dad and everybody excited.
Oh yeah. First grandchild for both sides,
Oh
so
man, yeah, that makes it really nice,
everybody's ready.
including you.
Yeah. I think as ready as I'll ever be. So
And I have a
dive
question:
head first.
how is that going to affect your sports watching thing?
I just got a new little pal to watch it with me. I guess now. Mm.
Now, hey, do me one favor. Do not
What is
post
that?
any pictures in some OU onesie. Don't do that to me, bro. Don't do that to me.
Oh, they're coming. They're coming. You know they are.
I need to talk to the missus and try to control that deal a little bit. I mean, you know what? I've already bought a
Yeah.
present for him. I got an OSU basketball onesie for him. You can do the football, but he has to be an OSU basketball fan. Uncle Matt has to hook him up with that for sure. Hey, anyway, I was just talking about. I don't know if you heard. I was talking about the NBA and how LeBron and those guys are investing in the pickleball, a professional pickleball team. And
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, and that they were growing and that's going crazy. What is your thoughts about pickleball and those guys doing it?
I mean, I haven't played. I've
I
seen
haven't either.
the chicken pickle over here in Oklahoma City. I want to check it out at some point, but I guess there must be a market there. LeBron and those guys, they're smart guys, have a bunch of good business people around them as well. So, I mean, there has to be a market there, and they see it as something that's going to evolve over the future. So,
Yep,
I'll be interested to see where that goes.
yep. And then Ben Simmons is back playing. How about that?
Yeah,
We
I'll believe it when I see it. Once he's out there on the court, and not
man,
coming up with excuses to this and that.
come on, bro. Give
But
him a
that's an
little love,
interesting.
Micah. Give him a little love, bro.
Man, I don't hate Ben Simmons. I think he's a good player, and I'm interested to see how he fits in there with the Nets.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We're talking about NFL tonight, of course.
Yeah,
NFL, man, big game. Who do you like tonight?
I kind of like Cincy tonight. I think there's a little more to that injury with Tua. I
Yeah,
don't know that it's a back. It kind of looked like concussion to me. So I think it's an interesting spot for them. They've been kind of riding the hype train. They're 3-0 now.
yeah,
Um,
barely.
and Cincinnati's been kind of backed into a corner and needs to rebound. So I kind of like Cincinnati in the game tonight. What about you?
Yeah, I do too. I like the Bengals in the -3. Over and under is 48.5. The Dolphins defense is pretty stout. But
Yeah,
but I agree with you. I think it was a concussion issue. I don't think they handled that properly at all with Tua, and I think that it is a concussion. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure if his back is hurting because he's probably trying to throw it out, trying to throw it deep to his receivers that he
yeah,
was throwing it to. Hey, Micah, I saw this stat. It said that Tua had one 30-yard touchdown in his career. He's got three this year.
yeah. That's insane.
Isn't that
The
insane?
Tyreek effect.
Yeah, exactly. But Tyreek 2 catches last week, 10 yards, whatever. Talking about how he's more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Now let's talk about your Sooners a little bit. Huge game this
Oh man.
weekend. I thought that they would take care of business with TCU pretty easily because of what happened last week against Kansas State. What is your thoughts?
Yeah. I took them with -7 this week. Since I think '99, since Pop Stoops got here, they've lost back-to-back games once. in 2020, I believe that was.
Isn't that crazy?
So, yeah, I mean, they're, last 2 decades, they've responded well after a loss. But I think they are vulnerable. I think Max Duggan is kind of just a better version of Adrian Martinez. He can run the ball if he needs to. He's a good athlete. So they're going to have to watch out for that. TCU's offense with Lincoln Riley's brother as the OC is more of a air raid now. But there's definitely that threat if Duggan sits back there and you give him all day that he can take off and run. So I think OU wins by 10, 14 points. But it'll definitely be interesting to see if they don't get some pressure on them. It could be a close ball game late.
Yeah, one thing that Duggan has always gave OU some hell, but as I was telling my guy Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com, I was telling him that I just believe that OU is something about Kansas State. They're OSU's Iowa State. That's who they are. I mean, no matter how much better than you, it's just like you play horrible. But I was at the game Saturday, and the first thing I saw in that first drive, Micah, the first words out of my mouth was, this reminds me of Baylor last year in that first drive. They hit OU in the mouth, and OU were like, wait, what? What are you doing to us? We're OU. Is what it seemed like.
Yeah. I was watching the game the whole time, just kind of expecting, okay, they're going to turn it on. But they never did, and give credit to Kansas State. They played a great game. No, you had some mistakes, but a lot of that was what K-State was doing. They were just the better team on Saturday night. Looked more disciplined, looked better coached. Just an all-around whooping they gave OU.
I agree, but the 25th ranked team in the country, come on. I'm like, please.
I mean, there's no excuses, but
no, they're not the 25th ranked team in the country. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do you think I was like, come on, they beat OU. Granted, I'm going to give them that. They got beat by Tulane. But I'm just saying, Martinez played out of his damn mind, first of all.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that they're the 25th ranked. I mean, it's almost like the AP is herky-jerky in their deals. You know what I'm saying? OU is not the 18th ranked team in the country. Come on. They got hit in the mouth. They got beat by a team who's beat them 3 out of the past 4 years. Come on, guys. Seriously? What do you think about them dropping, 12 spots?
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain too much after what I watched on Saturday night, but I don't think it was what you saw on Saturday night was too reflective of
who they are,
what the team can be. Obviously, they've got some stuff that they've got to work on, and they can't, come out and play like that in those spots.
And Gabriel's got to start hitting Stoops when he's wide open. That too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's definitely got some kinks to work out.
Yeah.
That's been his biggest issue so far this year. He hasn't turned the ball over. He's played pretty well outside of he's had some big misses on some pretty wide open plays
at important points in the game.
Yeah.
Important points of the game. But I think, to me, what killed OU was when they were driving down there, they had 4th and 1. Offensive guy goes off sides. I'm like, okay, you're at home. How are you offsides?
Yeah.
False start, whatever.
And then
whatever.
They had that 4th and 4 where they tried to sub in some players in case they just played it perfectly and made their own substitutions, and they had a delay of game. It was just those kind of mental mistakes that shot them in the foot on offense outside of the missed throws. That not being able to get to the quarterback really kind of
killed them. I agree.
The Sooners.
Now, what we did is we went over our schedule on what we think OU is going to be this year, and I want to get your opinion. I have them at 10-2. Is what I had them. My guy Drew has them at 9-3. I have OSU at 9-3. Okay, we'll just take it from now because they're beat UTEP, obviously, Kent State, Nebraska, so they're 3-1. TCU, what do you think? W, right? Okay, so they're 4-1. Texas.
Anything can happen in that game, but I think it's a W. I haven't been too impressed with Texas or their defense so far.
Yeah, and they can't hold a second half lead for whatever reason. So that's 5-1. Kansas.
W.
6-1. Do you guys get a bye before Iowa State at Iowa State and Ames?
W.
Baylor at home.
Man, I don't know what to make of Baylor so far.
Well, we're going to find out this weekend.
Yeah, that's probably a spot where they could take another L if they are going to take one. I had them before the year either 11-1 or 10-2. Obviously, 10-2 looks more probable now after this past loss. But I'd put that Baylor game or that Oklahoma State game as a big
As the other
big game
L.
where they could get that second loss. I tend to think maybe Baylor would be it just because I think they'll have a little bit of extra motivation after losing last year at Oklahoma State. And they lost to Baylor too last year,
Yeah,
but you know
at
how
Baylor.
that Bedlam game goes.
Yeah, at Baylor. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Oklahoma State will beat Baylor this weekend simply because the revenge factor. But I think I agree with you that when Baylor beat OU last year in OU, I think there's revenge factor there. But I do believe Baylor just gives OU a hard time. So does Iowa State. And then they, for whatever reason, you play like crap at Tech. What is that about?
Yeah, man, I don't know. It can be a rowdy environment, but and the last couple of times it's been the defense just hasn't been able to get off the field, and you get in a shootout with Tech, it can be scary. But hopefully they'll get that remedied a little bit. I'm hoping to see some progression with the defense as the year goes along. But it's just kind of wait and see game.
Yep, it is. Yep, it is. Well, do you have a second, or you got to leave right now, or you got a little bit to come back? I got to pay some bills, talk about some sponsors, and come back talk a little Thunder. Do you need to go, or you want to stay for a minute?
Yeah, I can stay for a minute.
Okay. I got my guy Micah Henson on the phone right now, and I'm going to pay a little bills. We're going to talk about our sponsors at Collaborative Logic. If you have anything, any IT needs, those are the people that you want to holler at. They can come in and set your office your office up, make it run more efficiently. My guy Mark Long at SRB. If you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, those are the guys that you want to work with behind the scenes. Of course, I'm wearing Oak Grove Trucking. My guy Jose Fierro. I've got his shirt on today. Even though he is a Broncos fan, I'm still feeling sorry for the boy, trying to change him up. And then, of course, Greg and Max Nafee at NAFCO. And then last but not least, of course, my people at YNB, family owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen. They are equal housing lender, member of the FDIC. You can pre-qualify online for any loans at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. And you can pre-qualify and then go in and see our guys Joe or Carson or any of those guys over at the bank. Remember, don't try to see Carolyn and Randy if it's in the afternoon, because they may or may not be there. I just got myself in trouble, I think, saying that. And then, of course, my guy Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. He's got the Red Sox tonight, minus 155. And in college football, BYU minus 24. And South Carolina State plus 40 playing against Spencer Rattler and South Carolina Gamecocks. He's got plus 40. And then tonight, he is taking the Bengals, just like Micah and myself. We're both there taking the Bengals tonight in that. So, but the good thing about, Drew and I were talking about, Micah, the thing about November is this. You've got football in full swing. You've got NBA basketball starting. You got Major League Baseball World Series. And you've got the World Cup, all in November. This is a sportsman's dream, don't you think?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. The World Cup's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about 2024 because we will have the World Cup in America. So I'm excited about that, and I am pumped about that. Okay, so this Monday, the Thunder starts the season, okay, which I know you're excited about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bummer that Chet went down, but I'm still excited about the season, see where this team's at.
Yeah, we're playing, start out, what I was talking about earlier, we start out with the Nuggets in Denver on the 3rd, which is Monday. Then we have the Mavericks in Tulsa at BOK, because I know they're still mad at us because they didn't get the Thunder and we did. So they're still a little pissed off at Oklahoma City. Guys, get over it. It's been 13 years. They should be over that by now. Thunder versus the Pistons. We got to go on the road again, the 11th, which is the following Tuesday, the day after my birthday. And then Thunder versus the Spurs on the 13th. Isn't that crazy that we turn around and then we have our first 2 real games on the road? Isn't that crazy that we got 5 of our first 6 on the road? Do you think that's by design?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they do the preseason scheduling. I don't know if that's a logistics issue with current events going on at the Paycom Center or what the deal is, but that is interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then in Thunder news, this is what's crazy. For whatever reasons, there's still people thinking about trading SGA. He's entering the first year of his contract, his $5 million, $172 million deal. He's 24. He's in the prime of his career. And Drake posts a pic of him in a Raptors uniform. How do you feel about the Thunder even considering or thinking about him, trading him?
Yeah, I don't give much weight to those rumors. I mean, I don't see how that could be anything that's on the Thunder's mind unless he were to get tired of the rebuild and ask for a trade. I don't see the Thunder, really entertaining that.
Well, because my thought process on that is that why would he want to be traded? All he's going to do is build up his value at the end for the end of his contract. He's going to be 29, or 28 years old because his 5th year is his option. So he'll be able to go, hey, look, I'm 28. I've been averaging 25, 26 points a game. My game is all the way together. Then, maybe he'll think about moving. But why would you want to move right now? I mean, you're the leading guy. You're the number one guy. And how many guys get to be the number one guy on a team? And
it's the perfect platform here.
Yeah, it is. And it's a good city. And, I mean, let's face it. Dude, we have some nice pieces. We have some really nice pieces, I think. And then now that we got Chip England, and apparently what do you think about Josh's shot? Was it one of the ugliest things you've ever seen? God dang.
It's so
his
flat.
Jumper. God.
Yeah.
It's painful to look at. It's painful. But,
he's young, though.
Yeah, he is. The one thing I loved about Chip, he said, he does the same, because I train kids, so I say the same thing. I'm just trying to fix one little thing. And then we fix that. Then you fix another little thing. And then another little thing. And Chip is talking about how he fixed Josh, like he would twitch his thumb at the end of his shot. And I'm like, who does that? But, anyway, there's the little things like that. But the question is, can he fix everybody else's jumper, or are we just concerned about Giddey?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to make some leaps and bounds with these guys. Just he has a proven track record of doing it in his career.
At San Antonio.
And especially with young players like Giddey, as you mentioned, they can make a ton of progress, this first couple of years in the league if they're coached well. I always kind of go back and look at what Lonzo Ball's shot looked like when he came into the league compared to now. He's not a lights-out shooter, but it's like night and day between the difference.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm hopeful that he can figure it out because that's, outside of defense, that's really the one spot that's missing in his game. And he could be a fringe all-star, I think, if he can get just a somewhat average resemblance of a shot.
I agree 100% with that. So I'm pretty pumped up about that. Poku, he put on 20 pounds, bro. I put 200 pounds, but it's just 20. So I think he's up to 200 pounds now.
The king of OKC, man.
Dude,
Poku.
Dude. Pokuševski, man, I'm sorry. Like I've said, we don't have the right scheme with SGA and Giddey for his style of play. He needs to be on a team that runs and guns and goes up and down and goes coast to coast. That's what he needs. We're not athletic enough to run with teams. So we have to slow the ball down, be methodical in the half-court sets, and take advantage of our ability to get to the basket. And Poku, that's just not his game because he's 7 foot. And he just, like I tell people all day long, that's my thing with Chet. You're 7 foot tall. Who are you going to take off the dribble? Nobody. You're going to be able to take him when you get a spot where you can go, but you look at Kevin Durant. Does Kevin Durant really try to take anybody off the dribble? No. What he's realizing, Kevin Durant is smart enough. It's like, look, let me get going. Let me get you leaning and pull up and shoot. And if
Yeah.
Chet doesn't realize that, if these NBA scouts or people think Chet is going to take people off the dribble with his amazing ball handling skills, you're an idiot. He's not going to be able to get around a 6'8" guy with long arms. If you look at summer league, he can't. It's just impossible. You got to do what Kevin Durant does. I'm tall, therefore I have to use my height to pull up and shoot or post. I'm not going to be able to take people off the dribble. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think Chet has a big ceiling, but I don't think that's going to be, his calling card in the league is taking people off the dribble.
No.
He's going to be able to, extend out to the perimeter and hopefully be able to knock down shots. And, I think he'll have his spots where when you're drawing some of those bigger guys out, you can have them off balance and you can get around them and get to the rim. But I don't think he's going to be a player that you give him the ball at the 3-point line and he's just going to take people to the hole.
No, that was clear with what we saw. But Poku, you've watched him play. What is your thought process on him?
Next stop might be the Globetrotters. He just doesn't look like he has any clue out there. I know he's young, but he just looks like a bull in a china shop. Like, doesn't really seem to grasp the game or see anything in real time. He just tries to go 100 miles per hour, and he doesn't really have the skill set to do that in this league. So I'd imagine he plays out his contract here and probably goes back overseas to play. Somebody might take a flyer on him and give him a minimum deal, but not too optimistic about his future in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So funny as I was looking at the Thunder, I believe their projected roster. Okay, we have their training camp roster and their projected roster. Their training camp, let me start with the training camp roster. The training camp roster, clearly, SGA, Trey Mann, Ty Jerome, and Maladon are your guards. You know what I'm saying? Your point guards.
Yeah.
Shooting guards are Josh, Jalen Williams, J-Dub, Santa Clara, Aaron Wiggins, Lindy Waters, and Vic Krejci. Forwards, Lou Dort, Kendrick, Ousmane Dang, which I still don't know. I don't understand the 4 picks for that guy, but maybe I'll see it later. And then Omen Euro, power forwards, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Baisley, and Poku. And centers, Muscala, Derek Favors, and Jalen Williams, J. Will. Now, my deal on Jay Will, the kid from Arkansas, this was the good thing. Like I said, if there's a silver lining in Chet getting hurt, is Jay Will be able to chance to get some playing time. And I think he will make a huge difference with the Thunder because I believe at some point you can play Jalen Williams, Chet at the power forward, Lou Dort, whomever, small forward, and then Josh and SGA. Because then you've got somebody who can protect the basket, somebody who can rebound, be physical, and not be pushed around in the middle. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see these young guys play, see how they fit. I think it'll be a big year for Coach Daigneault, just figuring out how the pieces work together, what lineups work. But I'm excited about, the pieces that they do have.
Me too.
And being able to kind of put some different lineups out there. I think they're going to be able to play fast with some of these players.
Play faster.
And faster. And then I'm really excited about it, especially once Chet gets back. They have some pieces to kind of protect the rim that I think they've been lacking the last several years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, really since Ibaka's been gone, which I think plays a bigger role than some people might think.
I agree, because we cannot defend the perimeter. You and I talked about that. God, it's atrocious.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the season goes.
This is my final roster, the way I look at it. I've got it down to the 12 guys, but I think you're going to have SGA and Trey, and Josh and Jalen are going to be your guards. Those are going to be your 4 guards, and then Aaron Wiggins is your 5th. But Aaron can play small forward as well. And then you're going to have Lou Dort, Kendrick, and Dang. And I just don't see the Dang kid. Did you see something in the summer league? Did you get a chance to watch it at all? Did you see him play? He just didn't impress me. I'm missing something.
I didn't see much of it. I saw a couple of the first games when Chet was playing, but he wasn't really a player that I was, focused on, and he didn't stand out. It was a pretty surprising pick to me.
Yeah, four first round picks for him. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's a project. He goes down the road. Maybe we'll see something, I guess. But 4 first round picks, that's a lot of. You could get a lot of really good players for 4 first round picks that are in the league, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
I,
but I've got to trust Sam, so I believe him. And then but anyway, I've got Jeremiah Earl, Darius Baisley, and Poku as my power forwards, and. Baisley and Poku, to me, you've got to cut ties with both of those guys. Clearly, aren't what we thought they were going to be.
yeah, I think if you can get Baisley in there, get him some run, and make him look good. He's a interesting piece at the trade deadline. Try and boost his stock a little bit and see if anybody will buy it. But I don't see him being a part of the long-term plans for the Thunder.
No, I don't either. I've watched him play, and when we drafted him, I thought, what in the hell were we drafting this guy for? That was my first thought. And then after watching him play, I'm like, what is this guy bringing to us? What do we get from him? I just didn't understand it. Still don't really understand what the process is behind having him. I just don't. I still don't get it. But anyway, okay. So centers, we got Muscala, Derek Favors, and Jalen Williams. And I believe that Derek Favors, because Williams is a lot about the same height as Favors, way more athletic. But I think he could be our Ibaka. That can play center and block some shots. That's who I think Jalen Williams could do. He can play defense. He's physical, and that he could be the new Surge, where he could block those guys taking to the basket. He could come from the outside and be able to at least alter some guys taking us off the dribble to the basket.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Because Muscala, you and I, pulling our hairs out of several games, going, dude, how come you can't? He can. If he's to me, if Muscala's knocking down threes, then I can live with what he doesn't give me on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't know what you're going to get out of him offensively from night to night.
No,
so it's kind of a gamble every time you throw him out there.
Yep. But if he's scoring, if he shot 43% from 3 last year. So if he's scoring for me, I'm golden with him. But at the end of the game, I'm like, man, I can't have him out there. And then how many he cost us? 2 games last year? At the end of the year on some bonehead plays. But it ended up being good. That we got what we got in the second overall pick. But still, I'm just like, bro, you cannot give away games. And Derek Favors, let's face it, he's trade bait. He's not going to play that much. That's somebody's going to want later on the end, because the thing is this, I wish we could have got the Derek Favors that killed us when he was at Utah. Guy killed us. He murdered us. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, somebody knocked the legs out of him. No, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But anyway, of your starting 5, who would you pick as your starting 5 if you had to pick right now?
So you got Giddey, Dort, SGA if he's healthy, obviously.
Yeah, he'll be back. Drew, my guy Drew Henthorne, he thinks that he just didn't want to play in preseason. That's what Drew says. He goes, he didn't want to play in preseason, so he's faking an injury, but whatever. Okay, so you got SGA, Giddey, Dort.
Yeah. And then I guess this is where it gets kind of interesting.
Yeah, I take Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Baisley out there.
Well, just Jeremiah Robinson Earl started most of the season until he got hurt.
Yeah. So I'd probably go Robinson Earl. And then that 5th.
You're gonna have to start with Muscala right now, don't you think, or Derek?
Yeah, probably Muscala. I wouldn't think they would go with Favors, but I could see either of those getting the nod. And then hopefully Jalen Williams can take over that spot
at some point.
At some point, yeah. But I would probably give Muscala the nod over Favors. I think he gives you just a little bit more of a diverse offensive presence out there that kind of fits better with what we're going for.
Right. And the whole thing is that the first, those first games, man, I'm sitting there looking at it, And our first schedule. I mean, they've got us picked to 26 and a half games. That's what ESPN said.
Yeah.
26 and a half wins. And when you look at our schedule, man, we play at Minnesota and at Denver, and then Minnesota at home, and then the Clippers back to back. Those are our first 5 games. We can be
Yeah.
0-5 very easily. 0-6 because we
Yeah.
have Dallas at Dallas. Those are our first 6 games.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's hard trying to project these win totals for these NBA teams. I mean,
Well, last year we were at 17. I predicted
yeah.
27. We were at 24 and had SGA. Now, if they hadn't shut it down, I think we'd have won 30 games last year. That's just me, what I
No,
had
I
picked
agree.
last year. And right now I have them at 31 to 33 before Chet got hurt. And I said possibly even 40 because Chet was only going to probably play in 65, maybe 70 games. I didn't see him playing
Yeah.
82 games. Did you?
No. Uh, I definitely think he would be a guy that in spots they would have to rest or be a little banged up here or there. I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure that the Thunder don't win more games this year without Chet than they would have with him. I just think with the kind of player he is and his fit in this league, I think they were gonna have some growing pains, just kind of you know working things out, getting lineups where he could be successful in.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Matchups, yep, no doubt.
yeah, so I mean, I like the long term potential for him, but I don't know how much this year he would have really affected the win column. I think that if anything, he might kind of get in the way of some of the progressions for a Lou Dort or an SGA. So I think just by wins, they might be a more successful team this year without him. I think it'll be an interesting thing to see just how they look out there without him this year, and then the beginning of next year when he is hopefully out there, what they'll look like at that point.
Yeah, one of the things I thought about too with Chet being out, Micah, this was part of my thought process. One is going to give him a chance to gain some weight.
Yeah,
Two, I think it will give him a chance to kind of really see where he fits in with SGA in our team. You know what I'm saying? When he comes back. Because he'll
yeah,
know, okay, I can pick and pop there, but we run here. Here are tendencies. Because, like what I tell people, when I'm sitting on the sidelines, I watch tendencies. Like when I set out my freshman year or sophomore year in college, I tore my ACL, MCL. And what I did was I sat out and I watched the team and said, oh, I can slide here, I can slide there, I can do this, I can do that, watching the tendencies of whatever they did. And then when I came back, and played, it helped me average almost 20 points a game until I got hurt at the end. But what I did is I got to see where I fit in the offense. When Randy Wright goes this way for this many dribbles, he has a tendency to do this. This guy goes over here, he has a tendency to do that. So it allowed me to see where I fit in the offense better when I came back. So I'm thinking maybe that's the same thing that Chet will have the opportunity to do as well, that he'll be able to see where he fits in at different spots in the offense when he comes back.
yeah, I definitely agree. I think he has a season-long film session, and a lot of that's going to be, I think, really beneficial to him, especially having these coaches here, kind of helping him understand what he's seeing
Uh-huh.
in certain moments. Coaching him up from the sideline. I think it could be a thing that's super beneficial for him and for the team going forward.
Uh-huh. Because, like I said, remember Blake Griffin sat out his first year, came back Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons sat out, was
Yeah.
hurt, came back Rookie of the Year. So it'll give him a chance to get physically stronger, to get a chance to understand the game more, but mainly to me, to gain some damn weight. Boy, give me 10 pounds at least. Give me 8 pounds. Give me 10 pounds. Give me some
Yeah.
strength. You know what I mean? Because he's going to be
Yeah.
with real trainers now, and he makes enough money to where he can get the training that he's going to need. Right now, that's going to make all the difference in the world, or it can. And I believe the Thunder have a good training staff. I like what Sam has built for Oklahoma City. If people haven't had a chance to see our training facility, it's really, really nice. So one more thing before you go. Micah, what do you
All
think
right.
about the new facility? The building of a new, do you think I mean, we definitely got to have one. I mean, there's no doubt. But
Yeah.
what about, do you think that they would move it? Because I know part of the contract with Omni was that it was going to be 1 block away from the Thunder's home facility. So, do you think it's a coincidence that they did the changing, the trolley change station is right there across the street, which is where the new stadium would be, if they built it there? Or do
Yeah.
you think it should be where the old Cox Convention Center is now?
Yeah, just from what I've read, it seems like the most likely would be the where the Cox Center is, or I guess Prairie Surf Studios.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, I was reading something a while back that I guess when Prairie did that, they weren't looking at it as a long-term investment. It was more of just kind of I think they signed like a 4 or 5 year lease for the
Uh-huh.
building. So I think that makes the most sense just for, not having to invest a bunch of money into land around the current stadium. But I really have no idea. As
Well,
long as it's down there in the heart of downtown, it really doesn't matter too much to me.
well,
But
the thing is, the one across the street west where the parking lot is, okay,
yeah,
there's a basketball court down there, and the Thunder just did a new one, just dedicated one in Sizzletail Park. And I'm like, why do you have a basketball court in Sizzletail Park when there's one 2 blocks away? I mean, what?
yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why I was kind of thinking that because of the contract or the agreement they made with Omni about it being 1 block away, the trolley service being there. But I agree with you. Tear down the Cox. It's 4 square city blocks. You can do a lot,
yeah.
and it's
Oh
right in
yeah,
the heart of downtown. You could do so much with a 4 square city block area to do
yeah,
something with. I mean, you could, because I
yeah,
tell you what, Golden State's facility is nice where they have the big, huge screen out there where, the fans can gather to watch games and stuff like that, which will bring back Thunder Alley to make it even that much more better and more impressive.
yeah. I love Thunder Alley.
Well, yeah,
I
until the
think
idiots
if
start shooting guns, dummy.
oh yeah,
God.
yeah. We were down there that night. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's,
But
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I the biggest thing to me is just keeping it down there. I think it's just so good for the city, and it's a great spot with everything that's being built down there.
Uh-huh.
I just think it's the perfect spot, and I think it makes sense there that you don't have to purchase any additional land. You can just take down the Cox Center and start building.
Yeah, I agree. But do you have a problem with us building a new facility? Some people had an issue with it. I don't know why, but some people did. I did not. I think it's
Yeah,
needed.
no, I don't. I don't at all. I know it's an issue that everybody's always going to take issue with when it's taxpayers' money and this
Well, it
and
was
that.
all,
But
but Micah, it's a quarter of a penny.
oh no, I totally agree. And if you look around the city, even from when I was a kid, 20 years ago, Oklahoma City is unrecognizable.
It
Like
really
it's
is.
awesome. It's a city that's growing, and I think it's super exciting for our future. And it's something that if you want to be a big league city, it's something you got to do. You're going to get left behind. The optics of what the Ford Center was when it was built. It wasn't made to be an NBA arena.
Well, it was
And it
supposed to
doesn't.
be, but they didn't think we'd get a team. But it originally was supposed to be a future NBA arena, but they didn't build it that way. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, but it was the size of investment that they put into it compared to
What they
what a
needed.
city puts in if they do have a team.
Yes.
Wasn't really comparable. So
No.
I love the Paycom Center. It's a fun place to go down and watch a basketball game.
Yep.
But I think, especially for when this would come to fruition here and, closer to a decade from now, it'll be something that the city really needs and that the Thunder needs. So I'm all for it. And I think it'll be exciting once it gets here.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited about it. I'm pumped up about what's happening. But I was sitting here looking at our home games. We have we go Minnesota, Clippers. I don't like the back-to-back games that they're doing when they do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to play the Lakers and the Clippers back-to-back-to-back. Then we got to go to Phoenix. I don't like how they did. I don't. We've got to play Portland twice at home. It's like these teams, like you're coming in. You know what I'm saying, Micah? And you're playing back-to-back games every other night to cut down on teams coming in at two different times. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I understand it when OKC's on the road out west and you play both the LA teams and then you play Phoenix or something. But I agree with I don't like playing the Clippers at home. 2 days apart?
Yeah.
That seems pretty
25th
ridiculous
to me. 27th.
Yeah, and I don't think it's good for the fans either.
Yeah.
Fans like to see a variation, and it's not too enticing, especially for a team like Oklahoma City. They're young, and I think that is exciting. But as we saw last year, like the fan support right now is with butts in the seats. It's kind of dwindled a little bit, so I don't think the NBA does a team like OKC much justice when they schedule like that.
Well, I will say this, Micah. What we saw, me going from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. When we first went, there was no people. The suites were pretty much empty. Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ugly. And then as the team started playing, by the end of the year, there was more and more people in the suites. And I think it was a fallout from the year before when you didn't let fans come back after the All-Star break. People lost track of who was on the team. They got out of the habit of going. That extra money that they spent, that they had maybe targeted for Thunder games, they use it on other stuff. And it was like when I first went to the first game, I'm like, hell, I had to get a brochure. I'm going, okay, who the hell is this? Who is this? I didn't know anybody on the team. I didn't know what was going on. It was terrible. But as I started watching and as I started going to more and more games, I got more and more excited about the players and about the team. But the one thing that my guy Mark Long and I both noticed by the end of the year, Mike, I would say probably 70% of the suites, people were using them compared to maybe 25 at the beginning of the year. And simply because I think people finally said, oh, okay, now I know somebody. Okay, I know these guys. But I'm with you. I tell people all day long, I'm excited for this year. We are young. We've got some talent. And it wasn't like last year we were getting killed at first, but by the end of the year, don't you agree? We were competitive almost in every game except for the Memphis blowout by 900.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun when you have a young team like this and you see the pieces start to click. And I think that goes towards, the fan engagement. I think people like to feel like they see these players kind of grow up and come into their own. But I thought what we saw last year when we were healthy was that the team has a lot of promise, and these young pieces are something with, the addition of some other high draft picks could be something that could be really exciting in the future. You don't have right now, I don't see SGA as a KD or anything like that, but you do see kind of a slight resemblance to those young Thunder teams, just as in the way they play and their youthfulness and the potential that they have.
Yeah, we're missing a KD-ish, because SGA is a Russell / Harden type guy who can give you 20-something points a game, but you don't have that complementary piece to him that that can go out and get you, another 25 or 30, because when I've been talked about this, I said that it should be SGA as our leading scorer. Josh should be our second leading scorer. Dort should be our third leading scorer. And then we should have one or two other guys around the 10 point, 9, 10, 11 point per game thing. But Dort was the one that was scoring, and Josh was not. And I'm saying Josh has to be the one that's scoring, and Dort needs to be the more focusing on defense than he is scoring. What are your thoughts on that process?
Yeah, I think something Dort needs to work on is just kind of his efficiency. He can score in spurts, but he's kind of a volume guy, which his points kind of come off of volume. I think he should try and focus on finding his spots a little more, and just kind of taking what the defense gives him. Whereas I think Josh is a player that can create
His
that,
own. Yeah.
yeah, getting to the hole. He's off the dribble. He needs the ball in his hands. I think a lot more than Dort does,
Agreed.
especially for the success of the offensive side of the ball.
I agree 100% with that because I was like, man, he has so much ability. Josh, you can't stop him going to the basket, but if he ever develops a 3-point shot or a nice mid range, he is going to be a 20-point average score because you can't stop him going to the basket. He's definitely lethal there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but all right, Mike, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you
Hey,
having
man,
me.
tell the missus hello for me, and looking forward to it. Congratulations on the son. And I got to tell her I have a onesie coming from y'all, an OSU basketball onesie. Not a football onesie, but a basketball
All right,
onesie.
will do.
All right, brother, appreciate you.
I
That was
appreciate you.
That was my guy, Michael
right.
Henson, of just really good friends, and we've been talking a while, and we've been hanging out, and he's about to have a baby boy, so I'm excited about him and the missus having the baby for that. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of the 105th edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and tomorrow we'll be back for a frantic Friday preview of the weekend and everything that's going on. And my guy, Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com should be back tomorrow. So that being said, everybody be safe.